standing for the singing of our national anthem and the invocation. Military personnel in attendance but not part of the official party or ceremony should remain uncovered. Boatswain, stand by to pipe the side. Captain Samuel Sorgan, U.S. Navy, retired, arriving. Commander Michael Bellotti, United States Navy, arriving. Lieutenant Daniel Sepulveda, United States Navy, arriving. Senior Chief Petty Officer Albert Diaz, United States Navy, arriving. Color Guard, parade the colors.
Color Guard, hot, hot. Three, color. Ready, shoot, on, off. Forward, off. Lock time. Lock. Left wheel. Lock. Ready. Halt. Present. On.
Commander Michael Bellotti will now sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we marched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color Guard, retire the colors.
Shoulder. On. Ready. Shoot. Lock time. March. Left wheel. Off.
Chaplain Lieutenant Commander Jay Iverson will now deliver the invocation.
Pray with me if you would. Holy Lord, we ask your presence and your blessing today as we gather to celebrate Senior Chief Diaz's 35 years of service to our nation in the Navy. Through 8 presidents and countless conflicts, this boatswain's mate has answered the call to serve. From the evacuation of Vietnam to the Customs Service mission in Iraq and Kuwait, he has been there. And you have been there with him and with his family on the home front. Now be here with us to remember, to celebrate, to honor, and to retire a man who is willing to continue and yet must be relieved. Bless this moment in time through the power of your Holy Spirit among us. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you all to this most special occasion marking the retirement of Boatswain Mate Senior Chief Petty Officer Albert Diaz. We are gathered this afternoon to witness the closing act of a very full and productive 35-year military career. More importantly, we're also gathered to say thank you to an exceptional shipmate and friend for his many contributions to our Navy and our country, which are in their own unique way have made our Navy a stronger and more capable force in our never-ending fight for peace in this troubled world. Thanks for his many dedicated hours and personal initiative that have helped to make our Navy the proud professional organization that it is today. Thanks for being the type of leader that has ensured the next generation of sailors are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Just as this is the end of one phase of his life, it is the beginning of another. So our gathering today also gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he looks forward to the new challenges and rewards. I extend an especially warm welcome to Senior Chief Diaz's family, his father Fernando Diaz, brother Hector Diaz, Aunt Ana Sanchez, and cousin Cristina Sanchez, Aunt Gloria, and her husband Luis Plaza, and of course Josh and Ellis, and Ariana and Christopher. Welcome to this occasion. We know that you, more than any of us, are vividly aware of the sacrifices that Albert has made in the service of our country. And I speak for the entire command when I say how pleased we are to have you here with us today. The order, boatswain, stand by to pipe the side, as I had said earlier, has been passed on naval ships from the 1500s through today. Spanish, French, English, Dutch, yes, all the navies of the world, and send ashore all officers, dignitaries, and VIPs. The side boys would haul on the ropes and raise or lower the boarding platform so that officers would not have to climb the rack lines which were hanging over the side and used by the enlisted crew when going ashore or to get aboard the ship. This honor was also extended to visiting officers, dignitaries, and port officials. It was not uncommon for the commanding officer of a ship to order up the jolly boat, a crew of 8 strongbacks, side boys, and boatswain, to send an old shipmate to his shore retirement, home, never to sail on Navy ships again. All hands on deck was passed. Speeches were made about great victories, battles fought upon the open sea, raging storms weathered, and voyages to distant and strange lands with ports of call others only dreamed about. These days, the piping ashore is reserved for both officers and enlisted who have completed a career serving their country in the highest traditions of the naval service. There are no platforms involved in today's piping ashore ceremony. Now the retiree passes by the side boys who salute as the boatswain mate pipes him ashore. Traditionally, the retiree requests permission to go ashore for the last time symbolizing the end of a naval career. With that, we have some speakers today that will speak on behalf of and for Senior Chief Petty Officer Albert Diaz, a good friend of mine. Our first guest speaker for today's retirement ceremony is Command Master Chief Jim Garlington, who served with Senior Chief Diaz at the Naval Operations Support Center, Jacksonville, for the past 6 years. Master Chief.
Thank you. Well, that makes it a lot easier. Albert, when you invited me to come speak for you and actually speak for one of your sea daddies, which we're going to explain in a little bit. One of the first command master chiefs Albert ever had has sent a nice farewell to him. Really, one should, you're going to hear a lot of great things about this American hero. But and I use that term not very loosely. Look at your programs. The man has got, no kidding, a couple of combat action ribbons. Are you kidding me? How many people can say that nowadays? Also, he's the godfather. He's the godfather. This is the guy that, some of you know what that means. When I first heard that term, I saw that term with the email that comes out, and I said, I gotta meet this dude. I gotta find out who the godfather is. And he did not disappoint. He is that guy. He's just a larger than life individual. Cares about his sailors. That's his main goal. Take care of his sailors, and I think everyone knows that knows Albert. Senior Chief Boatswain's mate. That's the keeper of the traditions. That's the person that will correct you if you're wrong. I have the guts to do it. That guy has done that for free for the last 10 years. So BTU, you don't get money. You get points, and you do ADSWs, and you do ADSW is where they put you in harm's way, which he's been more than once, and would go again today. I'm quite sure if you ask him. But anyway, Albert and I've seen him take care of his sailors during the initiation season. Yes, we do say that again. The initiation season, more than one. I think probably 5 or 6 that we were together with, and probably could have a few hands come up saying who he initiated. But just to make sure that everyone knows what we're dealing with here, this amazing hero, and we're saying goodbye to him, which is a solemn event. We really want to make sure we do it right. Looks like by the looks of things, we got a really nice turnout, which is awesome. So I'm going to read this from Michael Anderson, CM, DCM, SS, USN, retired. Went from 1979 to 2009. It says here, Albert, congratulations on a military career that I know you are proud of. 35 years. Wow. Thank you for your service. Thank you for volunteering to be on my headquarters staff for our deployment in 2006 and 2007. That's what created the opportunity for us to meet, work together, and yes, become friends. When Captain Rivenbark told me about the boatswain's mate senior chief who was volunteering to go with the Soaring Eagles as the admin senior enlisted leader on echo rotation over the desert, I really wasn't concerned, as I have seen, particularly in our reserve forces, multi-talented, multi-disciplined sailors and soldiers, airmen, Marines that go beyond their rating, NECs, MOSs, on a regular basis. The results speak for themselves, as evidenced by our continued friendship. For those of you who were not there with us, Albert had a can-do, proactive attitude and approach from the moment that I heard about his volunteering to go over to the desert with our rotation. He was the only person on our staff who had been over on a previous deployment to the same locations with the same mission. He engaged me, the rest of our staff, our chiefs and officers, to proactively assist with our pre-deployment preparations, and made it a point arranging to meet me and be in continuing contact before our pre-deployment training. During our deployment, Albert, besides keeping all admin squared away with nothing ever being delayed or late due to his dedication and proactivity, was engaged, aware, of what's going on throughout all of our commands in both mission areas and welfare of our people. He was a great set of eyes and ears, and helped ensure that any blind spots that we may have were visible to us. Everyone knows it's been downrange, that's kind of important. Specifically, he was both an advocate and a facilitator of our Soaring Eagle Awards. During our deployment, nearly 200 of these certificates, 200, along with a command coin, were issued to our people, and some from other organizations and services. These Soaring Eagle Awards were a very simple, timely, specific recognition for a job very well done and or significant contribution to the performance of some aspect of our mission or contribution to the welfare of our sailors. Albert, your support, responsiveness, and proactivity in this area was a continuing motivating factor to our sailors to want to find ways to make the foxhole better, to improve the quality of life, and to help to maintain positive attitudes. And thanks so much for your assistance. Albert, your contagious, positive, can-do attitude carried throughout our deployment, and it was a pleasure to work with you and serve with you. We are fortunate to have you with us on deployment. Thanks again for volunteering to and deploying with us. Thank you for your combined active and reserve service of 35 years to our nation and to our Navy. I wish you all the best in retirement from the Navy. I hope you find, as I have, that time gets quickly taken up by other things, and before long you'll wonder how you ever worked two parallel careers. Amen to that. Albert, shipmate, thanks again for all. Mike. Some really strong words from a great leader himself, Mr. Anderson now, Master Chief retired. Albert, if you would front and center, please. I've got something to present to you that may surprise you. Albert, this is from the NOS Puerto Rico, Chief Smith's current day. I don't think you have one of these. My friend, congratulations, and thank you for all your service.
Our next guest speaker is Captain Samuel Sorgan. Served with Senior Chief Diaz in the Voluntary Training Unit for the past 2 years.
Thanks, Senior. Welcome, distinguished guests, family, and friends. Master Chief Garnington, thank you very much for your kind words. I agree completely. There are a few remarkable young men and women who are intelligent, patriotic, and motivated to action. They are achievers. And fortunately for all of us, the United States Navy attracts these exceptional people. After hundreds of years of service, the Navy has been refined by each generation into an organization that is able to foster and mentor these talented young individuals and bring out their best. Among the finest of these, the Navy selects its senior chiefs, men and women that are not only great leaders and managers, but individuals with remarkable character. Senior Chief Diaz exemplifies these traits and more. He is an outstanding leader, of course, but it is dedication to the Navy and his devotion to his shipmates that sets him apart. He is the man to go to for all things Navy tradition. He is the man you call when you need a piping ceremony done right. A Navy saying explained or enlightenment on seamanship. A boatswain, a senior chief, Navy through and through. Believe it or not, he has been eligible to collect retirement pay for the last 2 years, but instead delayed retirement and forfeited his pay to stay in the voluntary training unit without pay so he can continue to support his shipmates. He takes care of his shipmates, leading Sailor of the Year boards and mentoring programs, running courses on military requirements, proctoring advancement exams, and tracking sailors' progress, knowing his people. That's what makes him an extraordinary leader. But beyond what he has done for his country, his Navy, and his shipmates, he is a good friend. The type you know you can count on no matter what. The bonds that are built between military members is hard to explain to the uninitiated. But I, and many in this room, will always count Senior Chief Diaz as one of my good friends. All right, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to 1975. Everybody remember 1975? I suspect some of you weren't even born yet in 1975. I was still in school. I had long hair. I was wearing bell-bottom jeans. Yes, they were cool back then. Well, Senior Chief Diaz was on board his first ship, the Knox-class frigate Harold E. Holt. After completing evacuation operations from Vietnam, while on a Westpac deployment, the ship got word to make best speed towards Cambodia. I'm sure Senior remembers it well. Apparently, the Khmer Rouge, a brutal regime that had taken control of Cambodia, had captured the U.S. flag vessel SS Mayaguez, and Senior Chief Diaz was steaming full speed ahead towards naval history. When they arrived, they were ordered to take back the ship. Marines were transferred to the ship by HH-53 helicopters, and the ship slowly came alongside the Mayaguez. Air Force A-7 attack aircraft saturated the Mayaguez with tear gas, and then Harold E. Holt conducted one of the few hostile ship-to-ship boardings by the U.S. Navy since the American Civil War. The ship was secured. Unfortunately, the Khmer Rouge Navy had already taken the crew members off the ship. Yes, this is a true story, and I can see young Seaman Diaz manning the lines, cutlass at the ready, as the two ships came close. Of course, there's much more to this story, with intelligence indicating that part of the ship's crew may have already been taken to a nearby island. A joint force consisting mostly of Marines landed on the island of Koh Tang by helicopter at the same time as the boarding of the Mayaguez. The Khmer Rouge forces were expecting an invasion of the island by the Vietnamese forces, and so it was very well defended, despite intelligence saying that it wasn't. After the boarding, the Harold E. Holt was ordered to patrol the waters between the mainland of Cambodia and Koh Tang to prevent more Khmer Rouge forces from reinforcing the island. 18 brave American service members paid the ultimate price that day. In the end, the crew of the Mayaguez was released. The Khmer Rouge regime was a communist regime initially tied with communist North Vietnam, and quite frankly, an evil totalitarian state. With names like Pol Pot and terms like the killing fields, this regime has an infamous reputation. The battle and story are worth more of your research, but in the end, the United States could not let itself be seen as weak by this regime. It was said by Edmund Burke, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. Well, Senior Chief Diaz that day was part of a team fighting against evil, and he was doing it when war was not popular, and he volunteered for that. This battle is often referred to as the last of the Vietnam War. That is how Senior Chief started his Navy career. He continued in the Navy with a long and distinguished list of assignments. He mobilized with the Navy Expeditionary Logistics Support Group 4 times in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. His last mobilization was as officer in charge for Bravo remote team at Camp Buring, supporting the customs mission at the border of Iraq and Kuwait. 2 of his mobilizations lasted for longer than a year. Yes, Senior Chief Diaz has spent much time away from home and family. For the nation, I would like to personally thank Senior Chief Diaz's father, Fernando Diaz, his brother, Hector Diaz, his aunt, Ana Sanchez, his aunt, Gloria Plaza, his cousin, Christina Sanchez, and of course, Josh, Ellis, Ariana, and Christopher, for letting us take your loved one away for the multitude of deployments and mobilizations that you have endured. As you can see from what's already been said, it was important to our country what he was doing, and he did his job well. You should be very proud of his many accomplishments. Senior Chief Diaz has done significantly more for his country than most. He has served remarkably, and at 35 years, well beyond the call of duty. And if he could, few can say they have earned retirement more than he has, though. Senior, it's time to retire. It's time to get that boat in the water and do some more fishing. And I'll drop a hint right now. I'd be more than happy to be one of your line handlers if you need one. Captain. And it's time to go slay some more of the ladies with your crazy good Latin dancing. And you know I'm envious of that as well. The Navy is a great fraternity, and you and I will always be members of that fraternity. but your time doing computer-based Navy training is over. You've earned it. Go enjoy it. With that, I'll turn it back over to the Master of Ceremony, Senior Chief Stevens.
Our next guest speaker is Commander Michael Belati, who served with Senior Chief Diaz in Kuwait from August 2006 to May 2007.
All right. Well, I'm truly honored to be able to speak at your retirement today, Senior. I know that I think it was back in February when you called me, and I was sitting there in upstate New York under 2 feet of snow, and you said, "Hey, sir, you want to come down sing at my retirement ceremony?" I was like, "Yes, I do." I'm just going to tell a couple of stories just to kind of try to illuminate the man that Senior Diaz is and the impact that he has on everyone that he comes across, even if it's just for a short period of time. I remember when I was deployed as the administration officer over to Kuwait when we served together, and my CO, Captain Ribbark, told me that my admin chief was going to be a bosun mate. I was like, oh, God. I didn't realize bosun mate could even spell. So. And then he told me he worked for the post office, so I'm like, oh. So he can't spell and he's going to be slow. Why couldn't I get But I gained a new and great, profound appreciation for both bosun mate and the U.S. Post Office, having worked with Senior. He definitely did not fit either of those stereotypes. It was early on in the process when we were training that one of the commanders nicknamed him Buenas. And I said, Buenas, where's that come from? Well, Buenas Diaz, right? So yes, deep down, all sailors, we are 4-year-old boys. But for some reason, it stuck, and to this day, I always refer to him as Buenas. So we were able to serve over in Kuwait. I was very proud of that. It was a joy to serve with you. We did a lot of good and served a lot of folks that were on the tip of the spear. One of the jokes, because we were in Kuwait and we were kind of in the logistics and supply, we weren't the tip of the spear, we were the tip of the rear. But with that, though, we did provide a lot of good to those that were fighting the war. So I really appreciate that. So we did have some fun over there. It was a lot of time working and stuff like that, but we were able to unwind a little bit, and we actually did a musical cabaret one night, and Buenas served as a cameo as the priest. So that was his big acting debut. So. And I learned that yes, he is just a dancer. So. However, though, you will always be known as the Salsa King of Kuwait, for sure. So I'll close with just, and again, I center on the nickname Buenas because Buenas means good, and I think that nickname stuck just because of the good man that he is, because he's one of those reservists. A lot of us do this because we want to serve. A lot of us do this a supplemental income. A lot of us do it in addition for medical insurance. A number of reasons why folks continue in the reserves, but Senior did it for the love of the game. He did it because he loved what he did, and it's always a joy to work with someone that has that passion. So Buenas means good for country and the 4 deployments that you did, for those that served with you. And also, I'm just very appreciative, and you've been part of the most rewarding experience that I have personally had in the Navy. So I got a couple things for you. So I know one of these you have, but when we were deployed in Kuwait, we made our own Echo Eagles coin. I know that Senior has one of those, but I got some extra ones when I finished the deployment, which we now got back about 10 years ago. I committed that I would give them out throughout the rest of my career and life to folks that had a sincere impact on my life, and you're one of them. So I've got this. So I got 2 handshakes coming to you. And then I know, Senior does like the coin, so I wanted to get you something that was more of a personal. So I also have a coin here of the United States Navy Silent Service. I don't know how many bubbleheads you got to work with in your career, but I know that this bubblehead really sincerely appreciating knowing you as a person, as a sailor, and it was my pleasure. So I wish you fair winds, following seas, and good salsa music.
Lieutenant Sepulveda will now present letters of appreciation. Senior Chief Diaz, front and center. Senior Chief Diaz has served under 8 presidents: Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and our current president, Donald Trump. I'll now read letters of appreciation from Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. Rosalind and I are pleased to join your family, friends, and colleagues in recognizing your years of service to the United States Navy. Please accept our warm best wishes for happiness on this special day and in the years ahead. Sincerely, Jimmy Carter. Dear Senior Chief Diaz, I am pleased to join with your family and friends in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Navy. You have served our country with distinction and honor, and you can be proud of your contributions to our national security and to peace around the world. I am delighted to send my best wishes as you celebrate this milestone and your years of military service. Sincerely, Bill Clinton. Senior Chief Albert Diaz, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. He also has a letter of appreciation from the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. Dear Senior Chief Albert Diaz, over the past many years you committed yourself unselfishly in service to our nation, and it is my sincere honor and privilege to congratulate you on this extremely memorable day as we recognize you and your family on retirement from the United States Navy. In our service, there is a saying, officers run the Navy, however, Chief Petty Officer, Senior Chief, you made the Navy run. Throughout your career, you understood the importance of nurturing the talents, strengths, and leadership abilities of each of our sailors, thus ensuring our Navy maintains its edge as the greatest Navy in the world. As we render honors today and bid farewell to a shipmate going ashore, know that I extend my personal thank you for all your sacrifices for our sailors, their families, and our Navy. Your strength in service and personal commitment truly made a significant impact. I wish you and your family all the best. Sincerely, Stephen S. Giordano, Master Chief of the Navy. We have another letter of appreciation from the Mayor of Jacksonville, Mayor Lenny Curry. Dear Senior Chief Diaz, as Mayor of Jacksonville, I congratulate you on your retirement after 35 years of faithful service to the United States Navy. You are to be commended for committing more than 3 decades of your professional career to protecting fellow Americans. Jacksonville is proud to be one of the most military and veteran-friendly cities in the nation. Not only are we home to 3 major military installations, our veteran population is also an active and valued segment of this community. Again, congratulations as you begin the next chapter of your life. I extend my very best wishes to you and your family for many more years of success. Sincerely, Lenny Curry, Mayor Jacksonville. Lieutenant Sepulveda will now recognize Senior Chief Diaz family with letters of appreciation. Mr. Fernando Diaz, Hector Diaz, Ana Sanchez, Cristina Sanchez, and Gloria Plaza. Please step forward. I will read one of these certificates of appreciation. To all who shall see these presents, greetings to Fernando, Hector, Ana, Cristina, and Gloria. By the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separation from your loved one, Albert, as he served his country. These months, indeed years, that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and his family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world, a surer peace. To those who say one person cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your loved one did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you and Senior Chief Diaz for enduring these separations, given this 10th day of June, 2017. Commander Stephen W. Allum, Commanding Officer, Naval Reserve Voluntary Training Unit 0806 Gulf. Captain Sorgan will now present the End of Tour Award to Senior Chief Diaz. Attention to awards. Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Gold Star in lieu of second award. To Senior Chief Boatswain Mate Albert Diaz, United States Navy, for meritorious service while serving as leading Senior Chief Petty Officer for Navy Reserve Voluntary Training Unit 0806 Gulf, Jacksonville, from June 2010 to June 2017. Senior Chief's superb organizational skills, training ability, and administrative expertise influenced BTU sailors to provide over 50,000 hours of contributory IDT support, 40,000 hours of ADSW, and 24 mobilizations in support of operations around the world. He instructed the Navy Pride and Professionalism course to over 100 new reserve affiliates and participated in 21 retirement ceremonies as the honorary boatswain mate piping the retirees ashore. Senior Chief's superior performance of duties highlighted the culmination of 35 years of honorable and dedicated service. Senior Chief Petty Officer Diaz's exceptional professionalism, unrelenting perseverance, and loyal devotion to duty reflected great credit upon himself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the naval service. Given this 10th day of June 2017, for the Secretary of the Navy, J.D. Grant, Captain, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, Navy Operations Support Center, Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
a fine sword, a brace of pistols, a rifle or musket, or maybe a sea chest or fine wood and bound in brass was presented to remind the retiree of crews and ships he had served with. According to some accounts of naval history and tradition, when a sailor retires and is departing the ship for the last time, it's considered bad luck for that sailor's shadow to touch land before he does. Thus, the sailor's shipmates would construct a sturdy box, handcrafted of the finest materials, in which to display mementos of the sailor's accomplishments, thereby symbolically creating a shadow of the sailor. The box safely contains the sailor's shadow until he is safely ashore, at which time the shadow box can be given to the sailor in a presentation ceremony. Historically, when a sailor would join a ship's crew, he would join that ship for his entire career. During the sailor's voyages and ports of call around the world, he would collect many trinkets, souvenirs, and reminders of his travels. Naturally, as space aboard ship was at a premium, these items tended to be small. When the sailor piped ashore for the last time, his shipmates saw to it that a special ceremonial box was constructed for him. The box would hold all the possessions that he had collected during those many voyages, and would simultaneously symbolize the sailor's career and time aboard the ship. Ideally, a shadow box serves not only as a reminder of achievements and accomplishments, but also as a summation, a culmination of a career. A shadow box should enable a stranger glancing at its contents to gain a substantial understanding of the owner's past service and achievements. Senior Chief Diaz, your retirement shadow box depicts your career achievements in the United States Navy. The national ensign is symbolic of the nation you have so faithfully served during your 35 years of service. This flag was flown over NAS Jax and Mayport Naval Station in your honor. That's the flag inside. Okay. Sorry. Senior Chief Ronald Baker will now present Senior Chief Diaz retirement gift on behalf of the Naval Operations Support Center Chief Petty Officers Association.
Military members at ease.
Okay, my collection.
Guests may be seated. Boatswain, post the flag detail.
Flag detail, all about face.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is held a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved, and I am feared. For more than 200 years, I have fought in every war: Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Aragon Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the jungles of Guam, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam. In the heat of the Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, Iraq, and a score of other places long forgotten by all but those who were there with me, I was there. I quickly restood my ground on top of the rubble of the World Trade Center and reestablished my position draped over the smoking ruins of the Pentagon. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-torn and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me. I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped to set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. Those who would destroy me cannot win, for I am the symbol of freedom, of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those whom I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bounds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the new frontiers of space. I have been the silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-mast to honor my sailors and Marines. When I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son or daughter. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave.
Flag detail, left, face, and salute. 3, 2. Flag detail, left, face, forward, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to present today's retiree, Senior Chief Petty Officer Albert Diaz.
Thank you. Anybody got a towel? Hopefully I can make it through this. I am truly humbled and honored to see so many family, friends, and siblings here. First, I want to recognize Captain Georgian. Thank you for being here. Lieutenant Sepulveda, thank you for being here. From the bottom, the best officer I've ever worked for in my 35 years of service, present company excluded. Thank you for being here, sir. It meant a lot to you to come here and sing the national anthem. Chief Madrid, Joanne, thank you for your part in Old Glory and the future watch that's coming. Chief Stevens, Senior Chief Stevens, you retired a couple months ago. I had a present for you, and I figured I was going to hold it until today. So I'm going to go to the table and get something that I got for Jim, and I'm going to present it to him today.
put a plaque with a picture of us too. It's in the back of your pamphlet. And, Jay knows exactly what this means. You know, we've been together for the last 6 years, and we did everything together in the last 6 years.
I want to give special thanks to my family, Bobby, Fernando, Ana, Gloria, Louis, Christina, Hector, and all the kids. Excuse me. Josh, Ellis, Ariana, and Christopher, thank you for being here. To my family friends, Colonel Isaac, Papo, go back, thank you for being here. This lovely wife, Maggie. Abby, where are you? Abby, thank you for being here. Abby and her husband, Eddie, and Olivia. Hey, Olivia. They drove all the way from Chicago. It took them 3 days to get here. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Jimmy and Tanya, we go back. Thank you for being here. You only drove 3 hours. Daisy, let me make sure I get this right, is my oldest friend. We've known each other for 37 years. And we have kept in contact all these years. And I was so pleasantly surprised when she called me and told me that she's flying down. I said, what? And she came and she was going to drive alone, but I kind of convinced her, no, don't drive, you know, let her fly. And she flew down. Thank you, Daisy, for being here. Ana Maria, thank you for all the help you've been helping me with these past 2 months of getting the program ready, flowers, all the last minute things that I needed to do. You were always there. Appreciate you. Thank you. I have friends that came in, and I was pleasantly surprised. Virginia, Cindy, that came in. I hope I don't forget nobody. I was writing names down as the people was coming in. Okay. Henry, where are you? Henry and his wife. Henry, I can't say enough of Henry. He's been my neighbor 10 years or so. And he's the best neighbor anybody can ask for. I've been deployed 4 times, and all 4 times I was gone for a year. Henry took care of my house and my boat, my car. If I would have had a dog, he would have taken care of it. Thank you, Henry. That's fun. Lisa, thank you for being here. Commander Harrison, how you doing? Thank you. Greg, Steve, Stan, work colleagues from the post office, thank you for being here. And thank you everybody for being here. Side Boys, Black Detail, Color Guard, really appreciate. My brother told me don't cry, he won't laugh. This past week, I found a document. It's called Declaration of Parental Legal Document Consent. It was signed by my father, November 26, 1974. So I've been enlisted in the United States Navy for 3 years. You see, I was underage. I was only 17 and needed the signature of my parents to join the Navy. My father was not okay with that idea, but he respected my decision and gave me away for 3 years. Well, Dad, after 35 years, I'm back. I hope I still have a room available when you're home. I'm coming home. And I just happened to have a copy of that letter that he signed, and I'm going to give him a copy of the letter that he signed back in November 1974. I am really nervous, and I'm holding it. You know, a funny thing happens when you people retirement papers and a floodgate opens up in your mind and so many memories come back rushing. If you would indulge me, I would like to share something with you. I remember going to sea for the first time. It was March 1975. I was on my first Westpac deployment in Pacific Bay. That's a whole different story. My first duty on the first day was forward lookout. The chief came to me and gave me a paper binoculars and told me that my job was to look forward, around, and behind the ship and report anything I see. Sounded easy enough. It was about 1800, 6 p.m., and the ship was in the middle of a bad storm. The sky was frightened dark, black and gray color, and you could not distinguish the horizon from the sea. The ship was rocking back and forth sideways and in ways I did not think a ship could actually move. I remember looking down to the bow of the ship and at the top of the bridge, which is about 10 stories high, and seeing the bow disappear into the ocean and back up again, and the water going over my head. Now, mind you, I was like 10 stories high. I thought I was in the summer. And I thought, what the hell did I get myself into? I remember April 29, 1975, 4 months into my 18th birthday. Here says, how will you hope? My ship was one of many that participated in the evacuation of Vietnam. I still remember escorting refugees off the hill to different parts of the ship where the helicopter went back for more refugees. I think we boarded about 80 to 100 souls that day. I can still see the fear in these people's eyes while they were holding their babies, uncertain of their future destiny. I remember May 15, 1975. Just 2 weeks after evacuation of Vietnam, my ship was ordered to rescue the SS Diaz, a U.S. merchant ship that was captured by the enemy. I remember being in general quarters for 24 hours, eating rations and water, and we had no hot meal for that whole day. When we got next to the Diaz, they wanted some volunteers to go topside to help the Marines board the Diaz and bring up the anchor from that ship, the Diaz, so the ship could be pulled away from the war zone. I needed to see what was happening outside, so I volunteered myself and my best friend, Gray. So we could see what was going on out there. Well, going on, we were 4 decks down. We had to go up 4 decks, and I was in front. Ray was behind me. I would open the hatch, go up, he would be behind me. He'll close the hatch, and we did it 4 decks up. When we got up to the main deck, I opened up the port side hatch, and right in front of me, what I saw was we were about 1.5 miles out from the beach. We were right next to the Diaz. We heard jets flying over us, heading towards the beach. Bombs exploding, mushrooms coming up, in front of us, right on the deck, there were like 100 Marines with their weapons pointing towards the shore and the ship. I saw gas coming out of the Mayaguez that you were vomiting with tear gas. And for an 18-year-old, that was pretty shocking, you know. So I turned around to say something to my friend Gray so we could move over and jump over the ship. And when I looked over, Gray was gone. I didn't see him for the rest of the deployment. He actually went back down. He said that wasn't for him. I remember October 4th, 1997, the day I made Chief Petty Officer. I remember March 1st, 2001, the day I made Senior Chief Petty Officer. I remember Tuesday, September 11, 2001, I had just moved to Jacksonville from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I was living in a hotel by the beach while I looked for a house to buy. Before I left the command, I did some advanced drills so I did not have to report to my new duty station, NCHB 11, until December. I was off on work that day, and I was waiting on my realtor to come pick me up to look at some old homes. The realtor called me at about 8:50 and asked if I was watching the television in the news. He told me that I should turn the TV on. When I did, I was in shock at what I was seeing. I told myself, how could this happen? A few minutes later, I saw the second plane hit the tower live. And at that moment, I knew it was not an accident. I picked up the phone and I reported it to my new command. Since then, I did 4 mobilizations to the Middle East. I remember going to a Humvee mission in Iraq in 2008. These were 24-hour missions. We would load 2 Humvees onboard a Russian cargo plane, fly to Iraq, unload the 2 vehicles, fly back with 2 more Humvees, fly back to Iraq, and unload for the second time. The mission consisted of about 8 Russian planes with 2 armed sailors on each plane safeguarding the Humvees on the Russians. After the second trip, we would all get on one plane and fly back to Kuwait. That mission lasted 24 hours non-stop. On the entire trip, I remember on the entire trip going to and from, the Russian plane had a glass belly nose, so I was actually like on my belly looking down as we flew over to and from Iraq. Also in the desert and villages here and there. I do remember the first time that we landed in Iraq. I was observing the unload of the Humvees when the base became attacked by mortar fire, and there were explosions happening all over the runway. What we could do was run for the bunkers, for cover, and boy, can a sailor run and land. These experiences and all other 35 years of memories have taught me so many things about life. If I had to surmise all that I have learned, I can put them in 3 words: honor, courage, and commitment. Thank you.
In the late 1700s, the U.S. Navy set sail with new ideas, new goals. Please be seated. And a desire to build traditions that would last through the test of time. The U.S. Navy led the way with providing honors for crewmen. The 1800s saw the enlisted men holding retirement for enlisted men, and for the first time. The captain would allow the jolly boat to take the enlisted retiree ashore. Then, after the Civil War, commanding officers began to hold enlisted retirement ceremonies to show the crew that he and the Navy recognized the contributions of its enlisted crewmen. Command Master Chief Jim Garlington will now read the Chief Petty Officer's retirement creed.
Back again, I'm so honored to have more than one thing to do. I got 3 things to do. Thanks, Al. Will all active and retired Chief Petty Officers please rise as I read our retirement creed. Albert, you have this day experienced that which comes to all of us. You serve on active duty in our Navy. I say our Navy because your departure from active duty in no way terminates your relationship, regard, or obligation to the United States Navy and your fellow Chief Petty Officers. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the roll, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you earn as a chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into retirement. You should have no regrets, shipmate. You should not view your retirement as an end of an era, but rather as ordered assignment to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been and always will be an accepted member of the most exclusive of all maritime fraternities, that of the United States Chief Petty Officers. The active duty chiefs salute you, and our retired chiefs welcome you, Albert. I wish you the traditional fair winds and following seas. Chief Petty Officers, hand salute. Ready? 2. Navy Chief.
Navy
Pride!
Navy Chief.
Navy Pride!
Navy Chief.
Navy Pride!
Hoo-yah.
Booyah, anchors up!
Today, our Navy has given most of the pomp and circumstance, the honors, traditions, and ceremonies back to history. Time does not give us the freedom to do these things from the past, but we still have to stop all engines, lay about smartly, and drop anchor to pay homage to one of our shipmates going ashore.
Learning our trade. This shipmate stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this shipmate stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this shipmate stood the watch. Many times he would cast an eye ashore and see his family standing there, needing his guidance and help, needing that hand to hold during those hard times, but he still stood the watch. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night. Today, we are here to say, shipmate, it's time to relieve the watch. YNSN Boatswain will step forward and salute Senior Chief Diaz.
Senior Chief, YNSN Bohorkis reporting. I have the watch.
I stand relieved.
Bosun, post the side boys. Our final act here today is to once again use the bosun and the side boys to render honors to send our shipmate to his shore retirement. Albert, my friend, your retirement day has come for you. Your chiefs and fellow shipmates would like to thank you for your decades of dedicated service. And thank you for your friendship and your leadership. Bosun, stand by to pipe the side.
Aye.
Shipmate going ashore. Guests, please rise and remain standing through the end of the ceremony. Military members, cover. Two. Chaplain, Commander,
Lieutenant Commander Todd J. Iverson will now deliver our benediction.
Please pray with me. Loving God, we give you thanks for this man, Senior Chief Petty Officer Bosun's mate Albert Diaz, who has been dedicated to serving his nation. We give you thanks for his family, his father Fernando, brother Hector, Aunt Anna, cousin Christina, Aunt Gloria, his extended family, all who have stood the watch at home. We give you thanks for this new time in life, for the senior chief to focus on being a son, a nephew, a cousin, and citizen. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord's face shine on you and be gracious upon you. The Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Captain Sorkin will now present Senior Chief Diaz retirement orders.
Retirement order and transfer authorization to retired Ready Reserve status. The Chief of Navy Personnel approved and authorized your request to transfer to the retired Ready Reserve status 01 June 2017. Your dedicated service to the Navy and country is deeply appreciated. D.P. Howell, Assistant Commander for Reserve Personnel Management.
Sir, request permission to go ashore. Retired.
Permission to go ashore granted. You are retired.
Bosun, stand by to pipe the side. Shipmate going ashore. Senior Chief Petty Officer Albert Diaz, United States Navy, retired, departing. Navy family, retired, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. On behalf of Senior Chief Diaz and his family, I thank you for attending today's ceremony.
Sir, please come up and serve yourselves so we can eat. Cake is going to follow in about an hour, more or less, okay? Thank you.